Good evening everyone and welcome to League of Europe F1 2019. It is Season 3, Division 1 and we are here for the pre-season race at the home of British Motorsport. It is of course Silverstone for the British Grand Prix. We are in a new year. Happy New Year to everyone. Happy New Decade as well. Some things don't change around here though. You're still stuck with the same old wooden commentator. I am Gemshead14, going to be taking you through the action. In case anybody hasn't tuned in to one of my commentaries yet and you don't know me, I'm an affiliated commentator of the TTG, awarded as well Best Commentator last season for League of Europe. Thank you very much everyone who has nominated me for that. It does really mean a lot, and I'm sure I will channel your positive vibes by nominating me to deliver the best possible commentary for this season, and indeed for this pre-season race, and indeed for the rest of the season ahead. And looking at the comments, quite a few people tuning in early on, and I will come on to them in just a second. But of course, we are here for League of Europe Division 1. We're not due to start for another 10 minutes. I want to get some of the necessities out of the way and really delve into the lineup that we have got this season. Fantastic lineup of returning drivers, brand new drivers, and some returning old faces as well, which you might see on the lobby screen there for yourselves. But looking at the lineup that we have got, we do have the defending champion Montana. He is here tonight, ready to defend his championship from Season 2, and he is being joined by Neo as well, who finished second, beating Malwigi for second in that championship last season. Malwigi also here in Division 1, alongside the two Spaniards, Cantera and June. Pleasure to have them back as well. Spine, the other Swiss driver, is back, as well as Daka, Larkin, Harrison David, a real returning face, left about mid-season last season in Season 2, but fantastic to have him back of course. And X-Jarry rounding off the first 10 drivers that we've got. And just looking at those 10 drivers, it is a really stark and stunning lineup, I've got to say, for Division 1. I thought last season was brilliant. I think this season will be even better with the quality that we have got and the talents that every driver will show, I'm sure, out on track here in Division 1. And as I say, I think Montana will probably be ending up towards the front end once again. Neo, I think, might have a good crack at him this season. He's going to be here for a full season, which is fantastic. He did join, I think, after 6 races last season in Canada, so Neo will be really hoping that he can actually channel that and get Montana very early on in the session and indeed in the season going forward. Of course, we do have 18 or 19 races for the season. And looking at everyone that I've just mentioned there, Cantera and June, when they're on their A game, I think they could be real championship contenders, as well as Spine. I think Spine could have a really good season as well. If they all stay consistent, we should have a really great championship battle, and you never know what could happen here in Division 1. Looking at the other 10 drivers though that we do have, some returning faces alongside some new drivers as well. Bullet Boy, Verstappen, Division 2 champion QVR Campbell, Mercurial Caesar, Toxic, a real eye-catcher for me in Division 2 last season, Cohen, QVR Cohen, NSX Lion, NWS Gabriel, NWS Zero, and Bualem, who is here tonight, I've already spotted. Looking at that lineup, looking at those 10 drivers as well, I think Campbell, probably the one that really strikes out to me the most. Division 2 champion, making the jump up to Division 1, essentially going from the B League to the A League here in League of Europe. But I think Campbell could do quite well if he stays consistent and he's got the pace. You never know, he could be a bit of an underdog this season. And as I mentioned as well, Verstappen, really good performances from him at the back end of last season, really came about within the second half of last season. He is going to be a one to watch. And NSX Lion as well, don't look at him as thinking, oh, well, he's a bit of an outsider. Lion is really quick on his day, and I think he could show a bit of pace, and I think he can show probably a few podiums towards the end of the season, of course. But this is just pre-season. I might be just foretelling the future like The Simpsons, but you never know. Looking at some of the new drivers as well, I do apologise, by the way, if any of the new drivers, I'm not used to some of the new drivers at all. I haven't commented on them before, but I'm sure it'll be a growing period for the guys out on track and a growing period for me as a commentator, commentating on the new drivers that we do have in Division 1. And we do also have 3 reserves for Division 1, VRT Schiaparelli, Alpha Trix and F1 Racer. Of course, this could be all scheduled to change. There could be drivers that are not necessarily quick enough for Division 1 that could be replaced by guys from Division 2 and vice versa. We could have Division 1 guys dropping down to Division 2. This is just pre-season. This is a bit of a fact-finding mission, but it is to ensure that the tiers are balanced, the divisions are balanced, and that you get the best possible action out on track. And of course, we are here at Silverstone. I need to get my trusty track map of Silverstone, so just bear with me a minute. I do have it somewhere. And of course, Silverstone, a fantastic track to be around. Of course, it's the home of British motorsport. And we do have 18 corners, I do believe, out on track. Famous corners, of course, include, get me right on this, Abbey, Farm, Village, The Loop, Aintree, got Wellington Straight, then it's Brooklands, Luffield, Woodcock, Copse, Maggots and Beckett, Chapel, Hanger Straight, Stowe, Vale and Club. Just to end it all off, there are the corners out on track. I haven't been doing much research as possible on the track, but you never know. There we go. Let's have a look then. I will check the comments in just a moment. Or let's have a look at who we have got tonight for the Division 1 race for pre-season. We've got Larkin, Cantera, Dakar, Lyon, Campbell, Toxic, Verstappen, Harrison David, Neo, Montana, Spine, Alpha Trix, good to see him here, one of the reserves, Bualem, Cohen, X-Jarry, NWS Gabriel, Doom, and VRT Schiaparelli also in, another reserve driver. We have got a few missing tonight. They have expressed their non-attendance within the chat, and that is perfectly fine as long as they attend the first race of the season and they don't fill up the full-time seat for anyone else who could be a reserve who could deserve a full-time seat. Hopefully that will not happen and we'll get the guys out on track. Quite a lot of comments have came through though. I will tune into the comment section now, see how you guys are doing there. Don't want to hear me twice at all, but let's have a look. Yeah, really happy to be back, people are saying as well. Good evening Montana, good evening to Aidan Carter in the comments as well. Just having a look through. Worst and most boring track of the calendar, says Montana. Interesting note there from the championship, the defending champion, of course. The track is as bad as British politics. Well, we're getting Brexit done at the end of January, so I don't think it'll be that bad going forward into the next coming month or so. So there you go. Gary Donegan, a notable admission to F1. He has taken the step down to Division 2. Of course, as I stress, this things can change and they might change as well. I have a feeling they probably will. Gary could, you never know, he might end up winning the Division 2 pre-season race later on tonight by about 20 seconds and he deserves a run up into Division 1. But of course the organisers will decide that. I can't have any influence on that at all. We are about 2 minutes away from the start of the British Grand Prix for the pre-season race. Of course, if you are new to League of Europe, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to the channel and tick that notification bell as well so you get the latest updates of League of Europe on this channel. And the trailer does feature me this season for Season 3. Goodness me, I hate hearing my own voice back on the streams, honestly. I will let you into a bit of a secret. I hate my voice back on the stream, so that's why I probably don't watch the streams back, and you guys of course love the streams, which is fantastic. League of Europe though, short qualifying, 18 minutes in length, 50% race. We've got clear weather, so there's going to be no rain in Britain. Luckily it is that time of year where we do get a lot of rain and a lot of wind, but there's going to be none of that here. It's going to be perfectly dry for tonight's pre-season race, and we have got about a minute to go until we are scheduled to start. Of course, Division 3 also happening as well. The pre-season race for Division 3 also happening right now, and that is live as well, I do believe, on the channel. If I'm not mistaken, it will be live eventually, but I've obviously the only stream on League of Europe, so that's probably why I'm getting the most viewers at this stage. Division 3 though, you can go and watch that if you want. You can come and stay with me. Vice versa, I don't mind at all. But of course, keep it clean within the comments section if you do want to show any support to the drivers out on track. If you do want to just show support to me in the comment section, please do that as well, but keep it in a clean manner, and I will of course read the comments during the course of the night. And if you're wondering why the streaming quality might be a little bit better as well, I have got myself a new TV over the Christmas and New Year period, so I'm going to be streaming in dynamic HDR. So that means you guys will get to see much better action and much better streaming quality for the streams. I know I've been known for the past of having a few disconnection issues. Hopefully that doesn't happen. It happened last night, so hopefully it won't happen tonight for the Division 1 race. We are about to get going about 10 seconds until the session starts. We'll get the qualifying underway and everyone readying up for the action to unfold out on track. 18 corners, remember, for the guys out on track, and we go straight Britain, a real famous track of course on the F1 calendar. These the old British Grand Prix actually took in 3 tracks here in Britain, Silverstone being the main one now, but we also had Donington and we also had Brands Hatch as well. They're most notably known for touring car tracks now. And there was a rumour circulating last season, you might have heard it, Silverstone wasn't going to get the contract this season. It was going to go back to Donington or Brands Hatch. That is untrue. Silverstone has signed, I think, a new 5-year agreement, if I'm not mistaken. They've signed a new 5-year agreement to keep the race at Silverstone until at least 2023 or 2024, if I'm not mistaken. But beautiful blue skies here at Silverstone. Of course, do put down your qualifying predictions in the comment section. I will read them probably around halfway in qualifying. I mean, we should see the first driver coming out on track very shortly indeed. And remember, soft compound of tyres, mediums and hards are the 3 available compound of tyres. Soft's of course going to be the quickest compound of tyre. That's what we should see most people going on. We have got the defending champion coming out first out on track, and that is Montana. And how is he going to do? Of course, winning the championship about halfway into the season. He won the championship last season. It was a bit of a bore to not have a championship battle at the top, but hopefully we might have that with the talent that we've got here in Division 1 this season. And Montana just coming out in the Haas, changing from the Williams last season. Of course, these cars that you see are just random cars selected by the drivers. These might not necessarily be the teams that the drivers are actually in. And we are already a minute through qualifying, and Montana is the first driver out on track. Let's go on board then and take you through some of the track here at Silverstone. We're just on the approach to Brooklands, coming through the first sector split there. Of course, these guys on their outlap, so they will get to know the track, they'll get to know the conditions, they'll get to know their cars and their tyres as well, and hopefully everyone having some good setups. And it looks like, if I just scroll through, it looks like everyone is pretty much going out on a set of softs, Alpha Tricks on a set of medium compound of tyres. Looking through everyone else on an outlap, I think everyone else is on a set of softs, so everyone pretty much staying to the standard for soft compound of tyres. Alpha Tricks the only one currently out on track on a set of medium compound of tyres. As I take a drink of my lovely Tango Orange that I've got for tonight. I do have a bit of flu, so I do apologise if I mess up in places. I'm sure you will appreciate that. But Montana about to start up on a lap. Let's see how quick he is on this first lap. Expect 27 to 28, I think, round here. Montana ran the final couple of corners through Vale and Club, and he's now on the run towards Abbey into turn 1. So he comes across the start-finish line to start off his lap. And Montana now through turn 1, taking that flat out, of course. You can't take that flat out through Farm at turn 2, and then to Village at turn 3. Yellow flags in sector 3, don't worry about that at all. It's everyone preparing for a lap. Through the loop section at turn 4, the newly added version of the track, of course, added in the late 2000s. Coming down now through Aintree and then into Wellington Straight. This is the first main straight out on track. And a 27-1 through the first sector for Montana. Coming through Brooklands and now into the tricky right-hander at turn 9. Pretty much halfway through the lap now with Montana. Coming through Luffield at turn 7 or 8 that was. Through turn 9 at Brooklands. And then into the old turn 1 at Cops. At turn 10. Very, very quick through there. Takes the apex very nicely indeed, and the Swissman on a fly of a lap as he approaches Maggots and Beckett's. 2 sections of the track, through the left and the right of Maggots, and then through the left and right of Beckett's, and then onto the hanger straight he comes. Oh, very just getting a bit too close onto the grass there. 102.7 from Montana through the middle sector, not too shabby at all. There is a McLaren behind, which leads me to believe that is Verstappen behind him out on track. I think Dakar was further down the track, but Montana on a lap coming into the final couple of corners at Vale Club. So through Vale and into Club at turn 18, Montana across the line, and already it's a 26.3. And I seriously expected a 26 to come early on, but not as quick as that. Montana with a 26.3 and Verstappen coming across the line with a 26.5, and Cohen coming across the line with a 27 flat. Spine goes second as well, just 300ths off. It is going to be quite a condensed qualifying here. Gabriel has just gone quickest with a 26 flat, quicker than Montana. Schiaparelli also in the racing point goes second. Well, we'll catch on board though with Larkin, who's at the end of his lap. Of course, our lobby host here tonight, he's across the line for 26.6, and look how tight that top 8 is currently. Toxic just comes in, one of the new Division 2 drivers from last season, stepping up into Division 1, and he has gone 7th with a 26.629. About 6 thousandths quicker than Boualem, the Frenchman, just in behind in the Mercedes there in 8th position. But early on, everyone settling down on their laps. Harrison David on the lap. He's running no assist this season. He's coming around the final couple of corners now, and Harrison's going to be right up there with the pace. Comes across the line, goes third ahead of Montana, 26.3. If that's anything to go by, I've got to say we're in for a real treat this season. Harrison David going third ahead of Montana, and Joom sticks his nose in there as well in the Alfa Romeo. So Joom has gone 4th with a 26.3. I will be led to believe that the two Spaniards will be teaming up again. They are in different cars here tonight. Neo on the German on a lap. Track extending massively there at Stowe. I'm not sure if that is allowed. I don't think it would be. If you are thinking of track extending at Stowe, don't, because it just hurts everyone's laps. Neo across the line, and he goes 5th with a 26.390. It didn't really cost him that much, but track extending at Stowe, I don't think is allowed, to be honest. Cantera's just gone 3rd as well with a 26.2. The Spaniard going through Abbey and Farm through turns 1 and 2 at the end of his lap. A 126.244 for Cantera. It's the two racing points though. Out on top, NWS Gabriel and VRT Schiaparelli. Reserve driver VRT Schiaparelli, remember? And he is in 2nd position, just in behind Gabriel, with about 6 minutes of qualifying gone. I'll run you through the order. Gabriel in 1st, Schiaparelli 2nd, with Cantera in 3rd. Harrison David in 4th, Joom in 5th, Neo in 6th, Montana, last year's defending champion, in 7th, with Spine in 8th, Verstappen in 9th, Campbell, defending champ from Division 2, in 10th, with Toxic in 11th, Boualem in 12th, Larkin in 13th. I do apologise about my messing up of some stuff that's going on there. Cohen in 14th. They're the only ones to have set a lap so far. Alphatrix, Lion, Dakar and X-Jarry. We'll go on board with Lion though, because the Dutchman is about to go on a lap. I know Lion from a league I used to commentate on, FRL. So NXX Lion now going on a lap in the Renault. Coming through Club and Vale and Club even through the final 2 corners. Always get them mixed up. He's now across the line to start off on a lap, and the Renault driver into turn 1 at Abbey, then through Farm at turn 2. You can take that flat out. There's a car just coming out of the pits ahead. That looked like it was Cohen coming out of the pits. Line now through turn 3 into the loop section at turn 4, going very wide there at the hairpin. Does maximise the run out though, just a bit wider than normal, that line, to be honest. New entry, and now onto the Wellington straight, the first straight out on track, bar the start finish straight, and Line coming across in the first sector split, 27.4 from the Dutchman, looking very nice there indeed. Now through Brooklands and into Luffield, very tricky right-handed corner. You can shift down from a very high 2nd gear to a low 3rd gear. That will maximise the run out of Luffield. Coming through Brooklands and now into Cops, the old turn 1. Cohen is just behind him out on track. NSX Line going very nicely indeed on this lap. There's a yellow flag in sector 1. I wouldn't worry about that at all. Alphatrix also left the session, which I've just picked up on. He is rejoining the session there as we speak. And we are about 8 minutes through qualifying. There's quite a few drivers now going out onto outlaps once again. They're still on board with Lion. Not really showing the pace I would have expected him to show, if I've got to be honest, and if I've got to be picky, which you have to be in Division 1, a 103.1 through sector 2 there for Lion, and he's into the pit, so clearly not happy with that lap. So Lion is into the pit, and Alphatrix is back in the lobby as well. X-Jarry coming through Maggots and Beckett. He's also on a lap. Oh, goes very, very wide onto the grass. a 103.2 through the middle sector. Not too shabby from X-Jerry. He can improve on that, I think. Looking at everyone, there's been no position changes within 14 drivers that have set lap times. So we'll go on board with Cohen very shortly indeed as well, who in fact I think has just gone on to lap. So we'll go on board with Cohen, and then we'll jump on board with Gabriel, who is on who's in provisional pole with that 26 flat, a really quick lap early on. Cohen on the 800 top through the first sector though, 27.3 for the Dutchman. And he now comes through Luffield, looking very nice there indeed. Let's ride on board with him as he comes towards Brooklands and Copse. I will shut up a minute, see if he takes Copse flat out. Yeah, a bit of a lift off through there for Cohen, taking it at 180 mile an hour. I had that at. Now through Maggots and Beckett, through 10, 11, 12 and 13, and then on towards Stowe at the bottom of the straight. Slight decline on the track as well. He's a 10th up through the middle sector, so he's found a little bit of time, around 2/10 in all. Cohen now coming up towards Stowe, turn 15, and then into Vale and Club at 16, 17 and 18 to round off the lap. Cohen now through into Vale, through 16, into 17, now through the final corner at turn 18. Where's he going to go with this lap? I don't think he's going to improve on his position. He doesn't. 26.7 though. He finds another 10th and a half roughly through that middle sector. Very nice indeed from Cohen indeed there. Line goes 15th, 27.2. Am I lagging a little bit, I wonder? There's just a lot of lag going on. Gabriel across the line on the end of his lap. Oh, and he goes quickest with a 25.7. A 25.7. Are you kidding me? Jesus! Wow, that is quick. That is extraordinarily quick. We are through halfway in qualifying, and Gabriel has gone quickest, with Chapelletti in second, who's at the end of his lap. He goes into second with a 25.9. He improves on his lap time, finds it in the final sector there. So Chapelletti has improved. Cantera also on out on lap. Harrison David improving by 3/10 through the middle sector. Let's see at the end of his lap, where's he going to be? He doesn't improve. That was an invalidated 25.9. There's a lot of drivers really flying on this lap. Montana is a 10th and a half up through the first sector as well. He's now coming down towards Copse. Let's ride on board with the defending champion through Copse, taking that at around 183 mile an hour. There is a McLaren going a little slow ahead of him. That leads me to believe that's Dakar on a down lap there. Montana coming through Maggots and Beckett on the exit of Beckett. Now down the hanger straight. 2/10 up through the middle sector, nearly 3/10 up. Allows Dakar pulling off the side of the road, but allows him to get the toe. Now into Stowe and Montana. Currently in 7th, 26.3, runs a little wide at Stowe. Not too bad though. Vale and Club up next for him through 16, 17 and 18. Cantera, I do believe, has improved to a 26.1 there in 3rd. Montana across the line, what's his lap? Goes 3rd with a 26 flat, and he's only 700ths clear of Cantera. A very condensed qualifying, as you can see on the left-hand side of your screen. It is top 15 separated by just under 1.5 seconds out on track. 1.5 seconds separating everyone that has set a lap out on track. We've got NSX Lion on a lap now. In the Renault, of course, and the Dutchman now coming through, flying through there. That's the quickest we've seen through there tonight. Lion just taking a little bit too much of the curve on the outside. The Lion coming through there nicely through Maggots into Beckett's now. Oh, just running wide of the curve, maybe just going off the camber of the corner slightly. It's a 102.9 through the middle sector. It's not too bad at all. Oh, there's an Alfa Romeo going very slow ahead of him. I had a feeling that was June going slow. Might have run out of fuel. Not sure if he realised that there was a car coming. Line through Stowe, now into Vale and Club on his lap with about 5 minutes and 40 seconds to go roughly in qualifying. Line across the line will go 13th with a 26.5. A nice lap there from the Dutchman. We'll just confirm if that was definitely June, because he's just about to come into the pits. Yeah, June just about to come into the pits, and there's something weird going on my end with some of the timings here. I do apologise. I'll try and get it fixed out. X-Jerry though towards the end of his lap here. Everyone pretty much into the pit lane. We've only got Larkin and Lion really out on any sort of lap out on track. X-Jarry across the line was 15th with a 26.7. A nice start there from X-Jarry. Just check the comment section, see what you guys are saying in the comment section. We have got a little bit of time before the next laps begin, with just under 5 minutes of qualifying left to go. Gabriel leads the way with Schiaparelli in second and Montana in third position in qualifying currently. Very, very close qualifying here, and Alpha Trick's not yet to set a lap. He is within the lobby, I do believe, so he should be able to set a lap before the end of qualifying, I would imagine. So let's just have a look. There is about an hour to go until Division 2. It's going to be streamed at around 8 o'clock. Division 2 at 8 o'clock and Division 4 at 8 o'clock, I do believe, as well, or Division 3. One of the two is also live alongside me in thingy. It's Division 3 that's now live, so Division 4, as I said, is live also. But let's have a look. A 25.7 is just impolite. A 25.7 is esports pace. Seriously, it is absolutely fantastic. 25.7. You know, I'm going to lose my voice more often, I think, now with some of these guys qualifying. It is a very close contested qualifying. You will see a lot of changes. Guarantee you will see a lot of changes before the end of qualifying. Gabriel, though, the current pole setter, 25.7. This will be hard to bet. This will be hard to better, I should say. He's on a lap now. And the Colombian coming through turn 1 really attacks that nicely through Abbey, through Farm, and then into Village at turn 3. Attacks the curb very nicely indeed, just feathering off the throttle very nicely there. Catches the apex nicely through turn 4, Village, and now through entry at turn 5, coming down the straight, the Wellington straight, towards the end of the first sector. This is a sub 27, he is on fire early on, and it's a 27 flat through the first sector. That is not too bad at all. He's a 1400ths up on that lap. 25.780 is the one to beat for him. Can he improve? Let's find out. Just from slightly wide out of Lovefield, now coming through Brooklands and then into the old turn 1 at Cops. The Racing Point driver just takes a little bit of grass. It can unsettle the car through there, but really attacks the car nicely through the corner. And the Racing Point now coming through the Maggots and Beckett section, really flying through there. Goodness me. Has he found the time through the middle sector? Oh, he's 1,000th up. Gabriel 1,000th up on this lap. There was a McLaren getting out of the way. That is Verstappen or Dakar on an out lap, just getting out of the way, which is good to see. Good sportsmanship shown as always in Division 1. Gabriel now coming through. He's through Stowe, now into Vale and Club, 16, 17 and 18. Oh, he's attacked that a little bit too much on the curb, and he's spun! Gabriel spins right at the exit of Vale at turn 16 and 17. He's spun the car and he's off track. He don't think, if I've got to be honest, I don't think he was going to improve on that lap. It just looked a bit of a shabby start of Sector 3, especially running onto the grass at multiple occasions. Campbell on a lap. The current Division 2 champion, stepping up to Division 1, of course, and he's around 3/10 up in the first, in the middle sector, so he could be aiming towards Harrison David sort of area, who has gone 5th, I've noticed, with a 26.3, and Montana still with that 26 flat in 3rd position, really right in the curb. Honestly, if you were here with me now, you will be able to see, hear the vibrations on the curb. Campbell does improve, 26.3. Very nice lap there from Campbell. The Brit goes into 6th, and he's about 400ths of a second off Harrison David, who was on a lap as well. We'll try and pick on board with somebody that we haven't been on board with so far. Let's go on board with the Frenchman, Brouilem, who is on a lap in the Mercedes, going down the Wellington straight towards the end of Sector 1, and a 27.1 through the first sector. Not too bad there at all through the first sector. Certainly quicker than me, what I would be doing round here. Really attacking that very high second gear, gets the 3rd gear, and really runs out the corner nicely. That's what you want to be doing through Lovefield, through Brooklands, now into Cops. As Brouilem really attacks the inside of the apex there. 186 mile an hour, they're getting quicker through Cops. And Brouilem now on the run towards Maggots and Beckett, and I have a feeling he is invalidated as Toxic has retired out on track. Not sure if that was a loss of car. Campbell has also retired from the session. Not sure if Campbell or Toxic had lost it in the middle sector. Yes, somebody has binned it. That is Toxic. On the outside of Lovefield, binned it into the wall. So Toxic has binned it there. which is unfortunate for him. Alpha Trix is on a lap as well, still hasn't came on board, and Harrison David has gone second. There's a lot I'm trying to keep up with, guys. Cantera coming through the middle sector, the Spaniard and the Williams, as we are now reaching the end of qualifying. Verstappen not improving on his lap, he goes 11th with 26.5. It's currently Gabriel, who's done enough, I think, because Harrison David I don't think is on a lap. Chapelelli, Montana, Cantera may be the ones to watch, I think, with this. Jum and Neo could also spring a bit of a surprise. Cantera through the final couple of corners, I don't think he's improving. He does, it's 500th of a second, but it's not good enough to take Montana's 4th position. Montana coming through the middle sector, Chapelelli through the middle sector, Harrison David on a down lap. Let's try and go on board with somebody coming through the final couple of corners. It is Neo coming through Vale and Club, really trying to get the exit through the corner, and Neo goes 6th with 26.1. The German going 6th place there. Let's run on board with Montana, 9,000s up through the middle sector, now through the final sector. Can he find the time? He's across the line to 25.9, not good enough to knock Chapelelli off that 3rd position. Spine jumps up into 6th with 26.1, catching the end of his lap, as somebody else has just improved massively. Somebody's had an invalidated lap time, I think, have they? I'm not sure. It's very strange indeed, but Jum has gone 3rd with a 25.9. We caught the end of his lap there, very nice lap indeed. Harrison David, the only one out on track. Qualifying is now over, and Gabriel, the newcomer to League 1, to Division 1 I should say, has taken pole position in qualifying, with Harrison David in 2nd and Jum in 3rd position. Chapelelli was 4th. I think it might have been Chapelelli that actually improved, which I was on about there. 25.9 for him. Montana in 5th, Cantera 6th, Spine in 7th, Neonet, Campbell in 9th, and Larkin filling out the top 10. We'll run through the rest of the grid in due course. Of course, Division 3 is also live if you do want to jump across and watch that. If you're just too excited to watch the Division 1 action, then stick with me, because this is going to be quite exciting. Get the popcorn at the ready, get an alcoholic drink at the ready, and I get XP, which is fantastic. That's how much you appreciate my commentary, obviously. But at the end of short qualifying, look at how condensed this field is. Gabriel, 300th quicker than Harrison, takes pole position as Lion has left the session. Hopefully we can get him back in. I have a feeling his car won't be there though. Jum in 3rd, Chapelelli 4th, Montana in 5th, Cantera, Spine, Neo, Campbell and Larkin filling out the top 10, with Lion, Verstappen, Bualem, Toxic, X-Jarry filling out the top 15, Cohen, Daka and Alpha Trix didn't set a lap. Let's see how he gets on in the race. He is down there in plumb last position of the 18 drivers that are going to be doing action, that are going to be giving you the action out on track here tonight, and I'm going to be giving you the finest commentary possible with a bit of flu. Can't beat a bit of flu, especially man flu, especially because I complain about it on commentary. Let's have a look at some of your comments going through as I click on the wrong stream by mistake. Best commentator on PS4. Well, thank you very much. Line has been kicked from the session, which is unfortunate, saying he's got no network. Might have just been a bit of a connection issue. If you can try and get your connection back up, yeah, your car won't be on the grid. So, yeah, it's a bit of a shame. It is honestly a bit of a shame, to be honest. I don't think we can do much about it because it's more on your end. Yeah. Anyways, this grid looks spicy. Completely agree, Dan. Completely agree. Campbell is British when he does well and Scottish when he does bad. He's Scottish and not British. I will remind that. I will keep a reminder of that in my head for the rest of this race. Anyways, as we go on to the formation lap, of course, the top 10, remember, qualifying on the set of soft compound tyres that they have qualified on within qualifying. So the top 10 remain on those tyres. They will be more worn within the first couple of laps than what you would necessarily think of with Bualem, Toxic, Cohen especially. Lion is joining back in. His car I don't think is on the grid, which is a shame. Yeah, his car not on the grid, so Toxic has left the session as well. Hopefully we can get a reserve invite back out to him. It is a formation lap, you can give invites out, and it is only pre-season. Luckily it's not the first real league race. But we have got a lot of lag actually picking up on my end, I do believe. I do apologise about that, but Gabriel on a lap. with Harrison David and Doom on their formation lap here. And just to pick out a bit of interesting points further down the field, Verstappen, Xjarry, Dakar and Alphatrix all going for a set of medium compounded tyres. Now the one-stop strategy you would imagine is probably going to be quick around here for those guys. The mediums to the softs I feel will be the quickest strategy. Of course, I'm a commentator and not a racer, so you might know better than me. But certainly for the top 10, the soft compounded tyres, they will struggle like hell early on. They will degrade. They will only last 3 or 4 laps before they start degrading. Anyone running the soft compounded tyres, BWLM, Toxic, Cohen especially, down in the bottom half of the grid, they will have a fresh set of soft compounded tyres. But, and I must stress, but they won't. They will have fresher tyres and they will go deeper into the race. But again, the wear of the tyres will only be around 4 or 5% per lap. Maybe 3-4% per lap for the softs, and 2-3% for the mediums if those guys are on. Toxic hasn't taken control of his car just yet, but we have got everyone joining up on the grid. Toxic is the last one to join up on the grid, and we are about to go for lights out very shortly indeed, as we in fact wait for Doom, who is completely out of position, so we might have to have a restarted lobby here. This is on my end. Lion has joined. We're going to go for 5 red lights though. In pre-season, there is Doom on the right hand side. Lights out and away we go. A very strange start to the race, but Gabriel leads us off the line. Harrison David getting a much better start though down the inside, and Harrison David takes the lead of the race. There is a bit of a desync going on with Doom, who I think has been contacted in the background. Harrison David though leads us through into the village section and into loop for the first time. Montana and Spine going at it 4th and 5th. And Spine, I think, just pulling off that move. Is he down the inside? No, not quite. Montana gets the move done around the outside, and Cantera is going to feed in as well. The Williams right on the back of Montana. Seen some good battles with these two before in Division 1. And Montana holds on for 4th position. A very strange start, if I've got to be honest, but Harrison David has got away. 6/10 of a second from Gabriel in 2nd. Chapelelli in 3rd, Montana in 4th. Everyone clean, which is good to see. Cantera 5th, Spine in 6th, Neo in 7th, Buell in 8th. The side-by-side action going on between Larkin and Campbell as we come into cops with those two guys. Campbell, of course, Division 2 champion from last season, getting under pressure from Verstappen, who was also a Division 2 driver last season until he stepped up to Division 1 and produced some very good performances indeed. Xjarry just in behind in 12th. Alphatrix has gained positions early. He's gained 5 positions, I think, from the start. Cohen has gained 2. Toxic's right on the back of him as well, coming down the straight. A little bit of lag picking up with Toxic. Down the inside he goes though into Corps, and Cohen around the outside. I think he's going to have to relinquish the position. He does, and Toxic's got the move done cleanly. And Xjarry and Alphatrix, Xjarry very late on the brakes, nearly into the back of Verstappen there. It will hold up Alphatrix and Toxic a little bit as the desync rightly occurs out on track. We don't know where Doom is, but I can tell you Harrison David leads at the end of lap 1 from Gabriel in 2nd. Chapelelli is in 3rd with Montana in 4th, Cantera in 5th, Spine in 6th, Neil 7th, Buell in 8th, Larkin 9th, Campbell in 10th. We'll have a look further down the field as Alphatrix and Toxic go side by side coming out of Village. And indeed the loop section through turn 4. Now on the run down towards turn 5. Down towards Brooklands even at turn 6 I should say. Down the end of sector 1 there's a lot of lag picking up on my end. I'm not sure if it's to do with the host maybe. I'm not sure if it's to do with anybody's individual connections, but I stress that I think mine is fine. Looks like Toxic it might be that is lagging. We do apologise of course. With desyncs, it's best off happening now to be honest with the desyncs rather than the first race of the season where everyone gets ruined. Harrison David though leading by 4/10 of a second. Gabriel pressurising him. He dropped off the he's dropped off Harrison David a little bit since the start of this race. Harrison David obviously leading now by 3/10 of a second. DRS will be enabled next lap around. There's a nice battle going on further down the field again as Alphatrix and Xjarry, and I think Xjarry's actually got that move done. Sorry, it was Toxic going past Xjarry, so Toxic has actually got past Xjarry out of, I think it was down onto the hanger straight through Beckett's, and Xjarry's got that, Toxic's got the move done on Xjarry. He's up to 12th, and Xjarry into 13th position. Montana sets the new fastest lap of the race, and it is Harrison David who leads the way. Chapelelli is in 3rd. There is a lot of lag happening. I'm not sure if it's on my end. If it is, I profusely apologise. I'm going to move some things now to hopefully pick up a better connection. As I say, must stress there is a desync going on within the lobby as well, so that doesn't add, that just adds pain really to the commentary. Alphatrix down the inside of Xjari, further down the field, 13th and 14th. This is 4. Alphatrix, the Brit, going around the outside of the Dutchman of Xjari. He's got a move done. Brilliant move around the outside of the field for Alphatrix. He's up 13, he's back into 13th past Xjari. Fantastic move there around the outside. We'll focus then on the battle for second position. And it's Gabriel and Ciappellelli. Dakar's picked up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And Montana right on the back of Ciappellelli as well. A trial on board with the Swiss man, trying to chase down the German. Both of these two guys have had battles in the past before, which has been fantastic for everyone in Division 1. Real asset to the league, these two. And Montana and Ciappellelli about to do battle once again here at Silverstone. You can appreciate I'm going to have to take regular drinks. So if you hear me doing that, I apologise. Harrison David though leads us on to lap 4 with Gabriel in second, Ciappellelli third, Montana in fourth. June with that desync is at the back. He will be showing on your screens, I'm sure, if you are in the race, differently. He will be different to what's being shown on the stream. But can Gabriel get closer to Harrison David down the straight? Not close enough down the straight. You really need to be within 3/10, possibly to launch a move down into Brooklands. Just having to sit tight this time around, the Colombian Gabriel on the back of Harrison David, but Ciappellelli and Montana. And honestly, if you're looking at this and thinking, well, Division 1 is going to be the best division this season, I completely agree with you, because Montana, of course, Division 1 champion last season, as we fly through, nearly killing me, the cameraman. Goodness me, Gabriel, taking too much curve there. Oh, anyways, Harrison David leads, Gabriel, Ciappellelli and Montana. I was alluding to Montana. He will have a lot of competition, judging by this, and Montana beginning to try and pick them off. He's 3.5 tenths behind Ciappellelli. I don't think he's going to be close enough for a move down into Stowe. He is catching, though. Not going to be close enough. And everyone pretty much running in single file as Larkin tries to go up the inside of Stowe on Boualem, that is, for 8th place. The Mercedes and the Ferrari about to do battle. And Larkin trying to position his car to the inside. He lets Boualem off with that one, though, and Boualem stays in 8th place for now. And Campbell right on the back as well, having a really good showing so far in Division 2. And I've got to be honest and say, this has been the cleanest Division 1 race so far of the season and of the decade as well. This will be the first race, so yeah, do bear that in mind. Alphatrix right on the back of Verstappen further down the field. This is for 13th and 14th. Currently, as you see on your screens, but this is actually for 12th and 13th. Out on track, Alphatrix right on the back of Verstappen, who has picked up the DRS ahead of, with Verstappen, he was within that second of DRS. Toxic, it is the guy in front of him who he's picked the DRS from. And Alphatrix trying to lunge it up the inside, again, just positioning the car to try and get the move done. He's not going to be close enough. He could, however, be close enough down into the old turn 1 at Copse. Through Brooklands they go, and Verstappen and Alphatrix, through Wookert they go, sorry, Verstappen and Alphatrix now through Copse, 12th and 13th for now. And of course, Alphatrix, remember, on a set of medium compounder tyres, Verstappen on a similar set of medium compounder tyres, and both of them started within the bottom half of the field, so you will be seeing them go a bit longer into the race as Alphatrix tries to get closer now to Verstappen, very close to the back. He's running within the slipstream. Again, you've not really seen the toe. He's not really going to be close enough. Down into Stowe, Verstappen just going wide off the camber of the corner, and Verstappen holding on to 12th position. Alphatrix just has to bide his time. Xjari and Cohen, they are just beginning to pull away from those two in behind. Lap 6, we'll go back on board with the leaders, because Harrison David leads by 4/10 of a second. That gap has pretty much stabilised since Harrison took the lead of the race. Gabriel currently in second, Ciappellelli in third, Montana fourth. There's really been no position changes for quite a while now. Cantera in fifth, Spine in sixth, Neo in seventh, Boualem in eighth, Larkin in ninth, Campbell in 10th, Toxic in 11th, with Verstappen in 12th, Alphatrix in 13th, and he's going side by side with Verstappen. Missed that slightly, but Alphatrix down the inside into Brooklands gets the move done. So Alphatrix is through and he's up to 12th position past Verstappen. Clean as you like. One to watch out for coming through the field. Alphatrix up to 12th. Verstappen down to 13th. Back on board with the leaders. 4 separating. Ryan leads the session. We do thank him though for participating in qualifying. It is a shame that he disconnected out of the session. Cantera in 5th has just picked up a 3-second time penalty. Not many penalties so far to actually produce, as Montana has gone through on Schiaparelli, who must have had a very poor run out of Maggots and Beckett. We missed that completely, and now Cantera's down the inside, the Spaniard on the German, down into Stowe. Schiaparelli trying to hang around the outside. It's not going to be tight enough, is it? Is Cantera going to pull off this move? He just about pulls it off. The Spaniard up to 4th position. Fantastic move. Good driving. Good one-on-one combat there between them both. The 4th and 5th. And Cantera and Schiaparelli trade positions. So Cantera up to 4th. Schiaparelli into 5th position. And Spine all of a sudden beginning to come onto the back. Schiaparelli obviously must be feeling the wear of those tyres now. He must have had a very poor run out of Maggots and Beckett and onto the hanger straight, which is why he lost the position to Montana, then lost the subsequent position to Cantera, and that is why Schiaparelli now is down into 5th position, as you will see when Doom desinks sinks back in at the back of the field. But Harrison David leads at about 4/10 of a second from Gabriel in 2nd, Montana in 3rd, Cantera 4th, Schiaparelli 5th, Spine in 6th, but under pressure now from Neil, the German, right on the back. We've also got a subsequent battle going on further down the field, which I'll cut on to in just a minute. That's between Campbell and Toxic, 2 Division 2 drivers from last season. We just saw Schiaparelli in the foreground of shot go wide at Cops, and he's picked up a 3-second time penalty as a result of that. But he's got the hammer down. He's right on the back of Cantera. Maybe this is the time for Schiaparelli actually to come into the pits, as Gabriel is going past Harrison David for the lead of the race. So Gabriel swings it right around the outside into Cops. Job done even before Cops, and Gabriel's through and he's into the pits. So Gabriel, the Colombian, into the pits. Montana is into the pits. Cantera is into the pits. Thought we would have seen Schiaparelli actually into the pits that lap. Campbell and Toxic still battling that with Larkin, I do believe that is. And there is a bit of a four-car train, I do apologise with that. Nearly said something else. Alphatrix is right on the back of this as well. And Alphatrix showing a great deal of pace, I've got to be honest. The Brit right on the back of his fellow countrymen, right in front. There's a Brit train, quite literally, with Larkin, Campbell, Toxic lunging it down the inside of Campbell. Not quite. Is he going to pull off the move down into entry? Alphatrix could be seeing them both. A little bit of contact, not really much in that, I've got to be honest. Toxic is round. Just a little bit of banging wheels, hanging off the camber on the corner as well. I wouldn't see much into that. That is just maybe a little bit of desync there between them both, between Toxic and Campbell. Obviously Toxic will feel hard done by that. I feel nothing really in that. You guys got the best view of that as well, so you can be the judge of that incident for sure. Alphatrix though right on the back of Campbell, the Division 2 champion, under pressure from Alphatrix. And 10 positions gained from Alphatrix in this race, of course, with Lions no race and June's desync. He has gained 2-3 positions essentially, and Larkin running very wide as Alphatrix gets a much better exit compared to Campbell. Through Maggots and Beckett, he could actually pick up a 2-for-1. Can he sign, seal and deliver it like Stevie Wonder down the inside into Stowe? No, he won't. He'll bide his time, and Larkin hangs on to that 6th position. Alphatrix in 7th. We've got Schiaparelli. We've got action coming into the pit. Schiaparelli, Spine, Neo, Boualem all into the pits, as well as Campbell. And then no one else is into the pits just yet. Toxic is into the pits. He's got no front wing damage, I may stress, after that contact. Let's ride on board though with Gabriel, because this will be really intriguing. Harrison David obviously now out in front by around 6.4 seconds to Larkin. June has finally came into the pits as well, further down the field. So June actually is in 13th place, I do believe, out on track. So June is ahead of some of these guys out on track. There is Gabriel. Harrison David is already ahead, and Alphatrix has gone past Larkin for position. So Alphatrix now through up into 3rd position, Larkin up to 4th. There is Gabriel. So Gabriel has came up behind Dakar, and those guys of course still yet to make their pit stop. So Harrison David probably going to be the one to watch when he comes into the pits, with Gabriel hanging on there. There's a bit of action going on further down the field. This is for a net battle for 3rd essentially between Schiaparelli and Cantera. Spine getting onto the back of this as well. 2 of these guys came into the pits recently. course, Chapelletti and Spine. They will get those set of mediums to the end. They will be quite worn coming towards the end of the race, but I'm assured that they will get to the end, those tyres. Larkin right on the back of Alphatrix once again for second. Not quite, as Harrison David is into the pits as well as Larkin. Beautiful shot actually coming into the pit lane. Larkin is in. Good to see no speeding coming into the pit lane. Cohen is in as well, in behind. So Kvyat Cohen into the pits. I apologise if I'm pronouncing that wrong. It's the best way I can pronounce it, with me being from the northeast of England. Gabriel is now coming into Valen Club. Where is Harrison David in this? He's about 3/4 of the way down the pit lane, so this is going to be actually quite close. Gabriel coming out of the final corner now. Harrison David just about to come out of the pit lane. I think Gabriel is going to be in the lead here. Gabriel will be in the lead, passing Harrison David, and it's around, I would say, 0.5 of a second. A Spine is going to try and lunge it around the outside of Harrison David. He's recently came out of the pits, blocks the door off, and fair play to Harrison David. He doesn't want to let him through at all. In fact, sorry, that is not Spine, that is actually Montana behind him. I do apologise, getting my Hasses mixed up there. But Montana, right on the back of Harrison David. Of course, he does have DRS. This is the 5th, 6th and 7th currently out on track. But Gabriel, in the longer term, will be in the net lead of the race. So Gabriel will lead the race by around 9/10 in theory, as Harrison David just puts one wheel into the gravel there. One wheel too many as Montana begins to catch him up down towards Cops. It's still 5.5 that gap down into Cops. Everyone filtering through there very nicely indeed. A little bit of a battle going on further down the field. Two drivers that have already pitted, Bouillem and Neal. So the French and the German drivers are going to get battling here in the Mercedes and the Ferrari. This is for a net battle for 7th, as Bouillem just runs slightly wide through Beckett. Doesn't prioritise the run. Neal now charging at him. Is he going to lunge it down the inside? Bouillem, I think, knows what's coming, and the German is swiftly down the inside into Stoll. So Neal is through on Bouillem, and he is up to a net P7, but that is for P11 out on track. So Neal has got the position on Bouillem. Let's focus once again on this net battle for the leads. Currently 6th and 7th out on, well, 5th and 6th out on track, given Jume's desync. Let's run on board actually with Jume and see where he is. He's coming down the hanger straight, and Toxic coming around the final corner. So yeah, Jume is totally desynced on my screen. Gabriel will lead the essential net battle for the lead. It's 0.5 of a gap. Gabriel and Harrison. 4.5 to Montana, very close to the back there. Down into Brooklands. Harrison David just running a little bit wide through Brooklands, now into Luffield and then into Woodcote once again. One lap, 11 out of 26. If you're just tuning in to League of Europe Division 1, the pre-season race, I'm James Head 14, your Division 1 commentator for this race and indeed for the rest of the season. Thrilled to be back for a second season, and it is Alphatrix currently leading the way, from Verstappen in 2nd, Xjarry in 3rd, Dakar in 4th, Gabriel in 5th. Harrison David in 6th, but under pressure now from Montana, 0.4 of a second, so I get a bit of toothache. There is a yellow flag in Sector 2, not quite sure who that might be. I have a feeling it's probably one of the guys down at the back. I have a feeling it's probably Jume, to be honest. It's not sure why the yellow flag is showing up there, to be honest. Very strange indeed. Gabriel, though, under pressure from Harrison David, now into Valen Club once again, as they are about to start lap 12, these guys. Gabriel only about 0.3 clear coming through Valen Club. Montana, Chapelletti setting the new fastest lap for the rest of 29.5. Of course, no fastest lap point until we get to lap 1. This is only a pre-season race, and from what we've seen, it is an honour to honestly commentate on these guys tonight. Been thrilling action throughout, been a lot of overtaking, hopefully more to come, and a lot of good battling, which is what Division 1 is known for, and this is why we are the top tier and we are the top league in League of Europe, as Harrison David again closes in on Gabriel down into Brooklands and Luffield once again. Harrison David right on the back, a little bit of a train possibly forming as Gabriel just trying to back up the pack slightly. Harrison David, Montana and Chapelletti chasing them down. A little bit of a gap to Contera, who is in that net 5th position, the Spaniard. We could come under pressure from Spine as well, as Harrison David picks up a 3-second time penalty. There is a yellow flag in Sector 2, and it's Jume that is out, and the VSC has been deployed. So the VSC has been deployed out on track, which brings a little bit of a neutralisation to this race, just as Harrison David was about to get past. Montana running wide out of the slipstream. Hopefully we'll get going. Everyone got to stick to their delta times, and Harrison David got to quicken up here as well. Montana has launched this, and he's gone past Harrison David. There might have to be a change of position here, to be honest. Harrison David is wanting back what is his, and rightly so, I think. Harrison David, yeah, going to lunge it down the inside. Montana is aware of that, and he lets him back through. Good sportsmanship shown there. Everyone just got to stay behind the other drivers. Harrison David actually again goes a little bit slow. Is there a problem possibly with Harrison David? We are nearly back racing again, and Harrison David right around the outside of Schiaparelli. Everyone just a bit mixed up, and look at Cantera now on the back. That VSC has really called out the front runners, and Gabriel is under pressure from Montana. He lunges it down the inside. It's all kicking off here. Harrison David trying to go up the inside of Gabriel as well. Montana has got the lead of the race as Harrison David recovers the car. How on earth has there not been contact there? How on earth? Gabriel now launching around the outside. It is all sprung into action, and Gabriel takes third position back from Montana. Wow, and Montana into the back, and Schiaparelli's up the inside at left field. Goodness me, it is all kicking off. Spine and Cantera all of a sudden are into contention here. Montana fighting Schiaparelli down into Cops. They go side by side. There is side by side action also going on between Verstappen and Neo. Verstappen is through on Neo. He's up into 9th position, and he's on a set of soft compound of tyres. My voice is going, which is absolutely terrible. Harrison David, though, really called out by that VSC, as well as Gabriel, as well as some of the main protagonists, I've got to admit there as well. Schiaparelli has gone through on Gabriel, right around the outside. Gabriel's up the inside. Oh, Schiaparelli inches apart from making contact there, has got the move done through Stowe, and Schiaparelli now into the net lead of the race. Goodness me, if he thought he was leading, if he thought he would be leading this lap around, then he would have thought another thing coming, to be honest. Montana right on the back of Gabriel in 5th position currently. Harrison in 6th, Cantera in 7th, Spine in 8th. Everyone has now sorted themselves out in the positions, because Doom obviously has retired from the race. Not sure where that happened out on track, but look at this. Have you ever seen it so close here at Silverstone? 6 drivers pretty much within 2 seconds of each other out on track, as Gabriel now within the slipstream of Schiaparelli trying to lunge it down the inside into Brooklands. Not going to happen, and everyone stays in the positions as they are. We are through halfway here in Britain. My god, it's all kicked off. Alphatrix leads, Xjarry in 2nd. Now VSC might have cost some of these guys. Alphatrix and Xjarry could be seeing themselves in a much better position towards the end of this race. Don't doubt that for 1 minute. Harrison David is in 6th currently behind Montana. Cantera 7th, Spine in 8th. Verstappen beginning to catch up. He's got a set of soft compound of tyres on. I hardly doubt they're going to get to the end of the race though, as Gabriel right on the back of Schiaparelli picked up a 3-second time penalty for his slight track extension. Schiaparelli trying to break the toe. Gabriel wise to the danger. He's up the inside on Schiaparelli here. Is the Colombian going to get the move done on his teammate? He does. He forces Schiaparelli wide. Schiaparelli will rejoin in a bit of a dangerous manner. Montana and Harrison David going side by side and behind as well. Cantera trying to lunge it down the inside. Makes contact a little bit with Harrison David. I think he got caught on the curb there, Harrison, as well. Schiaparelli in 3rd. Gabriel in 4th. Montana in 5th. Literally, you could throw a blanket over all 6 of these drivers, maybe even Verstappen. The likes of Neo and Boulem not out of this either. It's all kicking off. Gabriel's up the inside of Schiaparelli into Village once again. Into the loop, sorry, once again. And Schiaparelli hangs on for now off Gabriel. Again, trying to break the toe. The racing point wide to the danger. He's right within the slipstream. Down the inside into Brooklands he goes. Can Gabriel get the move done? No, he will sit tight. He has to sit tight behind Schiaparelli, who just prioritises the run through the corner. A little bit of a Constantino effect there could have been through there. And Montana is probably licking his lips and rubbing his hands. If he was not driving out on track, he'd be rubbing his hands at this point, because seriously he could have a big chance of winning this race. And of course some of the guys around him have got 3-second time penalties as well. Alphatrix and Xjarry. Alphatrix into the pits from the lead of the race. We'll come on to that in just a second, as Verstappen has caught right on the back of Spine. So literally 7 drivers within around 2 seconds. That is unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable, Jeff. Unbelievable. Gabriel right on the back, running wide through Stowe. Montana much cleaner exit through there. as Alphatrix is into the pits, and he will have a change of tyres, and he's right down towards the end of the pit lane as well. So Alphatrix will be coming out the pit soon. He's going to be right in amongst these guys. He'll be out behind Campbell, I think, when he comes out of the pits. Harrison David, a 3-second time penalty. I think that was through turn 1. There is Campbell, and there is Alphatrix, and as I alluded to, Alphatrix right in behind Campbell. Perfect prediction from me. Schiaparelli now in second place, just beginning to pull out a little bit of a gap now on Gabriel, and everyone just beginning to spread themselves out quite evenly, to be honest, within this battle. You have got... I cannot predict who is going to win this at all. X-Jarry is not going to win this. Don't get excited if you're a supporter of him. He has to pit in still. But Schiaparelli, Gabriel, Montana, Harrison, Cantera, Spine, Verstappen, all realistically, I think, can win this race. Those 7 can win this race. It's going to be super interesting for the next 10 laps or so. I can't believe we've still got 10 laps to go. This is going to be absolutely thrilling and fantastic. Gabriel right on the back of Schiaparelli once again. 3/10 of a second coming through Maggots and Beckett again. I don't think he's going to be close enough on the exit. 4.5 tenths away. Yeah, not really going to be close enough on the exit of the corner. X-Jarry will finally relinquish the lead of the race. Thank you everyone for tuning in, by the way, to Division 1 pre-season here tonight. Honestly, it's been absolutely fantastic to see as Schiaparelli, and sorry, that is a bit of lag through me. This is the big boy division, yeah. I have to agree on that. I have to agree. And the big boy commentator is also here as well, the best commentator of League of Europe, for a reason. Now, with X-Jarry coming into the pits, Schiaparelli leads the way, 0.6 of a second from Gabriel in second, Montana in third, Harrison David in fourth, Cantera in fifth, Spine in sixth, Verstappen in seventh, and now beginning to bring Bualem and Neo and even Alphatrix into this, and Campbell. I don't think I've seen the top 11 separated by 6 seconds out on track, for God's sake. How on earth? How on earth is this race? It's 6 seconds separating the top 11. Alphatrix tries to lunge around the outside. Neo just gets caught on the grass slightly. Alphatrix trying to prioritise the run out on the outside of left field. He's now in the slipstream. Could he lunge it down into Cops? This will be silly if he tries to. And Alphatrix backs off. Neo will slightly cuts the corner. Schiaparelli from the lead of the race has picked up a 3-second time penalty, as has Cantera, as has Spine. Everyone now beginning to pick up 3-second time penalty. Don't be surprised if these guys do have a 3-second time penalty at the end of the race, as Alphatrix just masters Neo out of Beckett and through onto the hanger straight. Beautiful move. This is going to be down the inside. Alphatrix, signed, sealed, delivered. That's how you pull off a move through Beckett. And Alphatrix is up into 9th position, and could be a one to watch in this race as well, as X-Jarry has lunged down the inside of Stowe. We caught that a little bit late, but X-Jarry has got the move done down into Stowe on Toxic, and 13th and 14th are those guys. We've only had one disconnect in lie, and that happened in qualifying. We've only had one DNF, as Gabriel tries to lunge it down the inside of Schiaparelli once again. Not quite going to happen. There are the leaders. There are the gaps from the leader to everyone else, and there's 20 seconds covering the whole field, just under. Montana trying to lunge up the inside of Brooklands once again, not quite one. Lap 18 out of 26. It is all kicking off here at Silverstone. If you thought a pre-season race could be this exciting, you thought wrong, because this is probably one of the most exciting races I think I've ever commentated on in League of Europe, and this is only a pre-season race. You could honestly throw a blanket over the whole field. Schiaparelli hanging on from Gabriel in second, Montana in third. I just hope my voice can actually last for the last couple of laps. Harrison in fourth, Cantera in fifth, right on the back of Harrison, coming into Maggots and Beckett there. And again, with Schiaparelli now under pressure from Gabriel, are we going to see a move down into Stowe? Gabriel's going to be close enough. He's going to lunge it down the inside of Colombian, down the inside. Schiaparelli cuts him off, I think. That is just a pure shot. Oh, and that kicks off. And Alphatrix, I think, was caught up in that. Sorry, it was Cantera caught up in that. That is what you get. Just a slight little bit of... Oh, as Harrison David has contacted Montana as well. All kicking off here. Not really the cleanest driving, to be honest, going on here in Division 1 now. As Alphatrix is through on Spine, right around the outside. On Spine, everything kicking off. I can't keep up with most of the stuff, to be honest. Schiaparelli leads, Harrison David in second. Cantera has retired in the pit lane. and I think rightly so. His race ruined by Schiaparelli just cutting off on his teammate Gabriel, who is into the pit as a result of that contact. I may stress, he is into the pit as a result of that contact. Schiaparelli maybe just needs to learn how to essentially pull off a move around the outside of Stowe cleanly instead of trying to make contact with another car. It can be done, trust me, I've seen it before. Schiaparelli 2 seconds in front from Harrison David. Verstappen in third, but Alpha Trix from the back of the field. I honestly couldn't imagine him to be anywhere near the lead. He's going to get the move done on Verstappen here. Is he? Well, it's going to be side by side down the straight, down the Hangar straight once again they come. Alpha Trix and Verstappen, who's got the quicker setup? Alpha Trix will be on the inside line. He slots in and behind Verstappen. Not going to go for the move there. And that is good sportsmanship right there. You don't want to be going for a move that you might not necessarily see yourself pulling off. And that's what we obviously saw with Schiaparelli. Harrison David also caught up in a little bit of contact there. Schiaparelli now leads. Might be reserved for a reason. 1.7 seconds in front. Harrison David in second. Verstappen in third. Alpha Trix in fourth. Spine in fifth. The race has turned on its head since that contact. Boualem in sixth. Neo in seventh. Campbell in eighth. As we have moves getting pulled off here. Alpha Trix up the inside of Verstappen. Picks out his spot. Delivers it. And he's up the inside into Village. Up the inside through Village into the loop. And he's got the move done. He's up into third position. And there's 6.5 laps to go if you're being picky. Schiaparelli leads 1.5 seconds to Harrison David in second, Alpha Trix in third, Verstappen fourth, and then Spine in fifth, Boualem in sixth, Neil seventh, and Campbell in eighth. Division 2 champion ahead of the Division 1 champion. Obviously with the contact, Montana would have been ahead. Without the contact, Montana would have been ahead for sure. Campbell currently in 8th position, Montana in 9th. I do apologise, by the way, if you see a black screen, on a black box appear on your screen. I've just received an invite from somebody else on doing a lobby of some sort. Did not realise I'm commentating. Anyways, let's have a look at some of your comments coming through. There's been a little bit of bit of a lulling in the action. Let's just say that. There's a bit of a lulling in the action. Alpha Trix could win, yeah. Alpha Trix could actually win. I'm 11th fastest, but in F1 2004. Yeah. We'll have a look at that. Obviously, we don't have a Classics League. It's all kicking off, though, between Larkin and X-Jarry, trying to go around the outside into Vale. This will be brave if he pulls it off. Little bit of banging wheels between them both, and X-Jarry pulls off the move, and Larkin retires from the session. Obviously, X-Jarry possibly getting that move done a little bit uncleanly. Toxic's up the inside as a result. He gets the move done, so Toxic through into 10th position, and X-Jarry down into 11th position. I think there was a bit of contact there. The camera angle really didn't give it away. There was a bit of contact between X-Jarry and Larkin. All of these guys have just got to take on board that these guys do have to be clean and competitive and race each other in a fair manner going forward. Just to be clear on that, I will be looking out for clean and competitive racing throughout Division 1 this season. I will expect nothing less of that, and if anybody can't do that, then you will get criticised, and that's all I'm going to say over the stream for now. So everyone has been warned. It's like telling off a naughty bunch of school kids at times with these guys, but Schiaparelli leads. Harrison David is on a charge, and after that contact, rightly so, he's back into this. But Alpha Trix has got all the tricks and has got all the answers so far. He's right in third position. He's on a set of soft compounded tyres. You would imagine now to be quicker on these set of tyres. He ran very wide into Still there. Schiaparelli and Harrison David, though, down into Vale Club once again. Everyone has just taken a bit of a lull in the action once again. Toxic and X-Jarry close enough for a move here, but he's not going to pull it off, I don't think. X-Jarry on Toxic. Schiaparelli still leading the way from Harrison David, but 4/10 of a second separating the top three with 5 laps to go here in the pre-season race in Britain. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it so far. I've certainly enjoyed commentating over it. Schiaparelli is trying to hang on for grim life, but Harrison David and Alpha Trix, you can clearly see they are quicker out on track than these guys. These three are actually beginning to break away from the group behind, which was Verstappen, Spine, Boualem, the likes, and Neo as well in that. Obviously the contact that happened with Schiaparelli, with Gabriel as well. Obviously there might be some words given to that. I've certainly expressed my opinion on the stream, and I don't expect anything less, as Gabriel actually has just retired from the session through Sector 1, clearly giving up, I think, on his... with the contact made between Chapelelli. He is going to be pretty annoyed, I've got to be honest. If I was honestly a driver, I'd be very annoyed at some of the driving getting pulled off. It can be pulled off a lot cleaner, and that's what we should be aiming towards in all divisions, I think, going forward in League of Europe. However, Xjavi on the back of Toxic, can he pull off a move cleanly? He's right on the back of him, coming down towards Stowe. Xjavi 2.5 tenths away. Yeah, he's not going to be close enough, I don't think, for the move. Toxic will hang on from Xjavi at the moment for the final point scoring position, currently out on track. 4 laps to go. It is 0.3 of a second between Chapelelli and Harrison David, with Alphatrix currently in third. It'll be these three to fight it out. Let's have a check on the penalties while we've got a chance to. Chapelelli has got a penalty and a 5-second time penalty and another penalty, so that's 11 seconds. Harrison David has got 9 seconds. And Alphatrix has got one morning. So Alphatrix, I think, is probably going to be taking this out on track on penalties. And fair play to him as well for doing so, I've got to be honest. Silverstone is known for this kind of DRS crafting on the F1 games, that's why they're so close. Yeah, I totally agree on that. The DRS obviously does allow drivers to be a lot closer, but some of these drivers have been driving really clean without the DRS and have been doing well with one-on-one situations as well. Side by side, for example, we've seen a few times tonight. These guys do really know how to put on a show. They just need, some of them just need to learn how to pull it off a little bit cleaner. As Harrison David now lining up on a move on Chapelelli, 2.5 tenths away. 1.5 tenths, Harrison David down the inside into Stowe. Fantastic move by Harrison David. That is what you like to call a signed, sealed and delivered move. Harrison David down the inside through Stowe, just committed that perfectly. That is how you pull off a move here at Silverstone. Harrison David into the lead of the race with 3 laps to go. Alphatrix is in third, Spine is in fourth, Verstappen in fifth, Boulem in sixth. Boulem, in fact, is all over the back of Verstappen, and Verstappen seemingly is all over the back of Spine, who I think has got past Verstappen over the course of the last lap or so. Spine now up to fourth, Verstappen into fifth. I think that has been changed. Signed, sealed and delivered is totally my forte now in Division 1, I've got to admit there, Nico. Alpha and Verstappen doing bits, same for Campbell, really driving well. Boulem as well, I've got to say, driving well, and he has just pulled a move off into Brooklands, getting the move done cleanly on Verstappen. He's into 5th position as well, and Verstappen now beginning to feel the effects of the soft compound of tyres. There's 2.5 laps to go. Neo right on the back of Verstappen as well. We'll cut back to the battle for the lead, because Harrison David and Chapelelli 1.5 tenths down into Maggots and Beckett's. The better run, I think, will come from the guy in the fresher tyres, which you could argue is Alphatrix, but Harrison David mastering Maggots and Beckett's nicely there. Chapelelli, Alphatrix, double toe possibly for Alphatrix here. We'll take it on board with his point of view. Chapelelli, Harrison David covers it up the inside. Chapelelli around the outside into Stowe. Can he pull it off clean? Yes, he can. The German is through on Harrison David. That is how you pull off a move around the outside. Finally delivers it. Harrison David back up the inside. Bit of a half commitment. Alphatrix aware of that. Lets him rejoin in front. Good sportsmanship shown there and good realisation. 2 laps to go. It's anyone's game. But however, with the penalties, Alphatrix, I think, is going to be taking this out on track. Boulem is catching Spine, 1/10 of a second away. 4th and 5th out on track. Toxic and Xjavi have been going at it quite simply out on track as well for quite a long time. We've been trying to focus on as lot of action as possible. Spine now all over the back, Boulem, sorry, all over the back of Spine. Chapelelli has begun to pull away from Harrison, not going to pull off that move. However, Boulem down the inside on Spine, down into Brooklands, gets the move done, repeats the favour once again, and Boulem is up into 4th position. Spine in 5th, Verstappen in 6th. My voice is going, and Neil down the inside on Verstappen. That came from absolutely nowhere. Neil has got the move done on Verstappen, and Verstappen trying to go around the outside of Cops here, not quite going to pull it off. Neo has pulled that off absolutely out of nothing. That was literally Sunderland scoring out of a goal kick. Neo up to 6th position, Verstappen now down into 7th. Chapelelli leads by 5/10 of a second from Harrison out on track with only one more lap to go. Shape Ship simply didn't defend. Yeah, Ship simply didn't defend as Harrison David tries again to go up the inside of... Oh, he's trying to go around the outside now. Schiaparelli just bringing it out, but Harrison David has got the move done, I think. Schiaparelli's around the outside of him. It's difficult to round the outside at Vale. Schiaparelli pulls it off. Good action between them both. It was just getting a little bit on the edge there between them both. On to the final lap. This is unbelievable stuff. Schiaparelli leading, Harrison David in second, Alphatrix in third. Montana can finish second. Yes, you're right, because everyone I think in front of him has got either some sort of penalty, but I think I saw Montana pick up a penalty as well, if I'm not mistaken. Harrison David trying to go down the inside into Brooklands. Not quite committing the move. He's half alongside Schiaparelli. Oh, both of them turn in an Alphatrix. Alphatrix gets to the lead of the race. Schiaparelli and Harrison David come into contact not for the first time tonight. Schiaparelli has made contact. Maybe that just needs a little bit of a talking to and a bit of a slap wrist. But Alphatrix, fair play to this bloke. I haven't commentated on him before. Alphatrix from the back of the field is going to win the pre-season race here in Silverstone. Bearing that he keeps it on track, of course, he will take the win out on track. Buwalem and Spine, second and third. It'll be Neil Verstappen fourth and fifth. Montana has gone past Schiaparelli as a result of that contact, and Montana, in fact, lunging it down the inside. That is how the Division 1 champion pulls off a move on Verstappen. He's up to fifth, but Alphatrix ran the final couple of corners. I'm losing my voice. You can appreciate why. Alphatrix, and he spins across the line. He luckily crosses the line, and there's a lot of contact at the end. Montana does take second, and a lot of changes coming on. Have you ever seen the AI crash into each other this bad at the end of the race? Alphatrix wins. Let's really delve into that. Montana, Buwalem, Campbell, Neo putting out the top five. Verstappen, X-Jarry, Spine, Toxic takes it from 9th. Schiaparelli and Harrison David 10th and 11th. Cohen in 12th, and Daka, the Scotsman, across the line in 13th, picking up plenty full of penalties. That was a mad one. Podium celebrations about to begin. My throat has completely gone, and you can appreciate why. Hopefully I'll be better next week. A lot of action though going on out on track. See how you guys, of course, react to that. Division 2 and Division 4 going to be up and coming very soon indeed. And Division 3, by the way, is just reaching the end of the race. I'll give you a bit of an update on that. Eduk leads the way, Ben JS in second, and Ton Albanak in third. Not as good as the Division 1 race, that's for certain. Everyone's spread out by just over a second there, really, pretty much. You can tune into that for the end of the final race. Oh, more XP for me. Thank you very much. Fantastic. Now up to level 38. You can probably appreciate why I'm a commentator and not a racer on this game. But Alphatrix, the Brit at his home track, takes it. Probably the most consistent and the cleanest driver out on track. Montana in second. Buwalem in third. Good recovery drive for Montana there, I've got to be honest. Campbell in fourth. Division 2 champion in fourth. Neo in fifth. Verstappen sixth. X-Jarry seventh. Spine in eighth. Toxic picking up in ninth on his debut. Schiaparelli in 10th. Harrison David in 11th. Cohen in 12th. Daka in 13th. They're the ones to finish. Gabrielle, Larkin, Cantera and Joom all not finishing at all. This race just showed once again that some TT sweat should practice racecraft. Yeah, I've alluded to that a couple of times out on track. We do have to promote the clean and competitive racing that Division 1 is known for. It might be pre-season, but you've got to be setting yourselves the highest standard, guys. Seriously. You need to set yourself the highest standard at all time to make sure that you deliver the best racing for me as a commentator, for yourselves as drivers, and for the viewers of the stream as well. That is important. That is one of our main goals that we work for here in League of Europe. And I'm sure the racing will be cleaner as we go to Australia for round 1 of the championship next week. Oh, well, if that was anything to go by, Division 1 is going to be fantastic this season. We'll take a little bit of a debrief once we get back into the session. My God, that was a great race. Thank you, everyone, to the great thingy. Yeah, Joom coming in as well, saying brainless racing. I've got to be honest, the drivers just need to show a bit more calm and get into that mentality of calmness when trying to pull off a move. Seriously, It needs to be done and needs to be worked on from a few drivers. The majority out on track, clean, fun racing, good overtakes, good racing, which is good to see. Some, however, and I won't mention them on the stream, some though do need to improve before race 1, and I expect to see that done for next week. If not, then you're going to be criticised, and that's as simple as that. So don't think because I'm a commentator I'm just going to go hard, I'm just going to go easy on everyone. I'm not, because I want the best racing, the viewers want the best racing, and the drivers want the best racing, and that's all that matters to me. And I'll end it on there as well. And thank you very much for watching tonight in Division 1. Until next week, for Australia, I bid you farewell. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.